Welcome back to the AAA MF YouTube channel. In a recent review, I drove the Porsche Taycan 4S, a fantastic car, great build quality, but it's rather expensive at £100,000. So I thought I would bring you something more affordable to the channel, the BMW i3S. Now, I've seen this car driving around London a lot. I live in northwest London and there are loads and loads and loads of them, and I've always wondered what it's like to drive, what it's like to own one. And I've never owned an electric car, so I wanted to go through the experience. So the experience so far is quite funny because I didn't realize that it takes 3 hours to charge the car. And I also didn't realize that you need a membership card for these chargers, which is Source London we're using. And I went to one near my house, plugged it in for the charge for filming today, and it came back after an hour and a half and it hadn't charged the car. So we're now in Tower Bridge in London, and we just put the car onto a charge and now it's charging up. But the idea was to drive to Whitstable, which is around 60 miles away from where we are. So that's 120 miles round trip to go and get fish and chips. Now, to join the experience, I brought along a friend who's a much better driver than me, who'd never driven an electric car before, who's been on the channel before.
I have been on the channel before. Hello.
Trying to drive 200 miles an hour.
196 did I get to? I know I beat you, that's all that really mattered at the time, but...
You did beat me in the Aston Martin. Yes, we got up to 187 miles an hour in the RS6 before it broke.
Oh, the RS6, yeah, that was...
So we're going to get gluten-free fish and chips.
Yeah, I'm celiac, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, so be gluten-free.
So you've never driven an electric car?
No, I'm so excited. I actually am so excited to see how it drives.
This will be a really nice surprise because I picked the car up on Friday from BMW UK, and I've got the car for a week.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. But I wanted to introduce someone else to the car to see what you thought about it and take it on a long drive and see if we run out of electricity.
Let's hope we don't, but if we do, then hey, it's a movie, it's an adventure.
We'll just hike.
Yeah, we could do. Get the steps in, got my Fitbit on, you know, every step counts.
So shall we start the journey?
Let's go. I'm
Maybe
excited.
we should talk a little bit about the car first.
Okay.
A little bit about the car. So let's come over, Mark. So this is the charging point in here. So when the car is locked, no one can take the cable out, which is quite cool. So the car is made out of carbon fiber, like a McLaren.
Super light.
Super light, so all of this is carbon fiber. So they're not actually going to be using carbon fiber in the future because they said that they don't need to save weight as much in new cars, whereas the batteries in these cars were quite heavy and they needed to save weight. So in future cars they're not going to be using carbon fiber because carbon fiber is very expensive.
Well, how much does this retail at?
This is on the road, I think £42,000.
Okay.
Now, another funny story. I went out last night for dinner with 3 friends, and my friend was trying to get in the back, and we put the seats forward because I couldn't see a handle to open the back door, so I didn't think the back door's open. So let's see if you can find the handle for the back door.
Push it. I don't know. How do you do it?
Just trying to get my own back on, Alex. For beating me in the Aston Martin. Oh, she found it.
I was like, do you push it? Is it like a push?
Well, it is daylight, and when I took my friends out, it was night, and I didn't see that handle.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, but hold on, let's see how easy it is to get into the back.
It's quite clever.
Let's see, bring the camera
For a
around.
little person.
Let's see if someone little like you can get in the back.
I mean, the leg room is not great. I mean, I am a little bit... It's like flying Ryanair right now, sitting here.
And I'm quite short, so that's why the seat's not all the way back.
Yeah, you are quite... What are you, like 5'8"?
Is that short? We'll just leave her in there, shall we? Let's just carry on filming. This one's really, really quiet, and it's got really thin tyres. So this is the i3S. The i3S here, S version, sporty, has bigger tyres, bigger track, and you can tell because it's got the wheel arch extensions there. So they've done that to give it slightly better handling. It sits slightly lower on the road. It's got a little bit more horsepower or electric power. So So that's the i3S. Now, an interesting fact for the older car, it had a generator that you could buy for a range extender. So you could fill up with £10 of petrol and you could get another 60 miles. This doesn't have that. So when this runs out of electric...
This is full eco.
When it runs out of electric, that's it. The car stops and you're stuck in Whitstable. So let's go, shall we?
Let's go. I'm excited. Alright.
Alright.
Can you put the... Oh my god, this feels so nice. I almost don't know how fast I'm going because there's no revs. I know the speed is there. But not...
Help, Alex is driving.
Can you put the directions up there?
Yes, boss.
I know you're charging your phone.
I'm charging my phone.
Mark, you can't do that. We're going to run out of mileage.
It's quite funny to charge a phone in an electric car. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to switch it to. So it's got 4 modes. This car. It's got Sport.
Yeah.
Dynamic setting. It's got
Eco.
Comfort.
Oh, comfort. Okay.
It's got Eco Pro, and then it's got Eco Pro Plus.
Wow.
Maximum range without comfort functions. 56 mile an hour limit. I think that's the best one for you.
56 mile, come on.
56 mile an hour limit for you.
But what? Wow, it just like even as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, it just goes.
Yeah. So what I think it does when you take your foot off, it's actually recharging the car. So it actually does recharge. Can you see on the left? It says charge. So it actually recharges. So it uses the slowing down to generate the battery, generate a charge in the battery. Yeah, I think most electric cars do that.
That's so clever.
But the nice thing about this, opposed to, I've driven a Tesla, I've driven the Porsche Taycan on the channel, but this just feels more fun.
Just the way it accelerates, it's so like, oh god, it's just smooth. There's no noise. It's
lovely, isn't it?
It's very futuristic.
Preparing.
Charge now.
Your charge is now starting. Please plug in cable to begin.
Oh. Okay. Please. Oh, it's working. Yay!
Look, 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 look.
Oh, this is so cool. Yes, this is epic. Oh my god, this is the future. Wow.
This is the future.
This is amazing.
Hold on. So we are charging. Sweet.
It was a kerfuffle, but it was well worth it.
So we're charging, but we don't know how long it's going to take to charge.
Well, we'll go get some fish and chips in the meantime, and yeah, then we'll just have to come back.
So we've had our fish and chips. How were they?
It was great. Unfortunately, not gluten-free.
Not gluten-free.
It was a sizable piece of haddock and some mushy peas. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. So let's talk about the BMW i3S.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of the technology in the car, the infotainment's great.
Oh yes, awesome.
I don't like the sat-nav in this car. We didn't really get to grips with the sat-nav, did we? We're using the Waze on the phone.
I think if we were a bit more persistent with it, then it could have been really good.
Maybe. But Waze is so easy and so good. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the charge. So I spoke to my friend who's got an i3, and he's got the original one, and he likes it because it's got the extender. So you can basically have this generator in the boot, which gives you, on 10 pounds of petrol, 60 miles of extra range. So if you think you're going to run out, you just put some petrol in the generator. This doesn't have that option because the battery is better in this and it lasts a lot longer.
Yeah. What's the total distance? It lasts 150 miles, did you say?
When I picked up the car from BMW, it said 160. So that's
and
roughly...
that was full charge?
That was a full charge. So basically we've stopped now and we've been charging the car for about, what, an hour now? Yeah.
It's just over an hour and a half maybe.
Yeah, and we're back up to 64 from 33. So it's charged it by 30 miles. We've got another 30 miles. But also the good thing is you can put it into Eco Pro, which gives you a little bit more juice. But do you have anxiety about the range in this car? Did you have anxiety? I think I would as well.
That's why we questioned whether to come here or not, because we were like, and I was like, let's just do it.
Yeah, so we were deciding whether to make this journey. We've made the journey, and now we've had to plug the car in to charge. So I think you would think twice about taking it on a long journey.
Yeah.
You say, I think I'm going to conclude with this. You can give your conclusion as well. But my conclusion is, I think that if you can charge this from your home and you only need it for the city, so you live in a city and that's what you're using maybe your second car for, or your only car, if you're only doing mainly city driving, I think this is absolutely perfect. For 42,000, this one is new, but you can get second-hand ones from BMW dealers at around mid-30s, low 30s.
So the price doesn't drop a huge amount then from first?
They've held pretty well, but like, you can get like a 1 or 2 year old one, the i3S, for like 33, I think. That's pretty good. So I might get like a 1 year old one from BMW. So that's my conclusion. I think if you're charging it from home, you've got the ability to charge it at home and you're using it for the city driving, you don't have to fit 2 adults in the back, because I think that would be quite difficult. Maybe 2 children in the back. I give it a thumbs up for that. I think if you need to do long journeys, I'm not sure it's ideal for that. And I think if you need to fit 2 adults in the back, I don't think it's ideal for that.
Yeah,
what's your conclusion?
I pretty much completely agree with you. Again, it's not the car that you would choose to take on a road trip around Europe. Let's be honest.
And the boot's quite small as well.
Yeah, I mean, how much luggage do you need, Mark? See, look, this is how big the boot space is. I'm 5'6".
Yeah, right. There's loads of room.
There's loads of room in here.
Well, if there was just 2 of you
If
there was 2 of you going on a trip, you could put luggage on the back seats.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think.
But if you were a family with 2 kids, you couldn't put any luggage in the boot. The boot wouldn't take a lot of luggage.
I know. I think you can make the space, but I think definitely a city car. Great city car, actually. If this is kind of what I would look for in a car if I was buying for London.
It gets a thumbs up.
It does get a thumbs up because also no congestion charge.
No congestion charge. Yep.
And you only pay, what were you saying about parking?
You get discounted parking in City of Westminster as well, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you've just seen the video with me and Alex taking the BMW i3S on a road trip. I'm now giving you some thoughts after actually having the car for 1 week, and I'm giving it back to BMW in a couple of days. But I've got a lot of experience now with the car over a whole week. So I wanted to give you some feedback on the car, living with the car day to day. So I live in a flat, so that means I can't charge the car overnight from where I live. So I have to go to chargers. Now there is a fast charger near where I live, and it takes about 45 to 50 minutes to do a proper charge. And you can also do that at a Shell petrol station where they have superchargers. However, it does take 45 to 50 minutes of standing around waiting for your car to be charged. If you want to use the chargers on the street, they're much slower and you really need to leave them overnight or during the day when you're at work. So there is a bit of an issue with charging the car. That said, if you're only using the car for city use, you can get the car up to 150, 160 miles of electricity and range, and you can actually use it for a week in the city on Eco Pro mode, which is basically the best the most efficient, and you can drive it for a week without charging the car. So the first thing I love about the car is that it's unique. It's not trying to be an electric car per se. It's not like the shape of a car like a Tesla and the Taycan. It looks like an electric car, and I think it looks cute. They do the i3S in red, two-tone red, blue and you can have it all in black with blue tints. I think it's a good looking car, but it's a unique looking car, and I like that. The upright design I like as well, because it gives you a huge amount of visibility and windscreen space. So it's almost like being in a bus. You know, when you're in a bus, you get that huge windscreen, and it's the same in the i3. You get this huge windscreen, which makes driving around town really amazing. The third thing is, that I love is the turning circle. It means you can get in and out of parking spaces really, really easily. I love the fact that you don't have to go to a petrol station. I know that goes without saying. I love being able to drive past petrol stations and going, I don't need petrol, because you're always filling up with petrol, and petrol's expensive. The charging price is £9 to fill up the car with electric for, say, a week of city driving. So it's really, really cheap. So I love the fact that it's cheap to run. You don't have to buy a brand new i3S. You can buy a second-hand one now for £15,000 with the generator, so you never have to worry about running out of electricity. And you can have basically free motoring, because you buy one for 15 grand and you can probably sell it in a year for 15 grand, or not a lot less. So it's very, very cheap motoring. And you can go into central London and not pay the congestion charge. I love that as well. I also love the build quality about the car. I feel like it's a quality product. Things I don't like about the car: it hasn't got a lot of rear space for passengers, so getting 2 adults in the back would be challenging. I don't like the fact that not everywhere has superchargers, so you can't charge the car with a supercharger in lots of places. I found one about 10 minutes from my house, and there's a Shell which is again 10 minutes from my house. There's nothing near my house where I can have a supercharger. What else don't I like about it? There's not many things. It's a little bit unstable at high speeds on the motorway, especially if there's a crosswind. It doesn't feel very stable. I like the fact that it's got the small tyres, but those are also quite challenging when you're going around corners. You never feel confident to take a corner hard because of the small tyres and the high centre of gravity. But like I said, it's a city car, I think, and you don't really care about going around corners fast in that car. I think that's about it. It is coming to the end of its cycle, the i3S. They're going to be bringing out a new model, I believe, at the end of this year or early next year. But I think for a city car, I absolutely love it. And I prefer it to driving the Taycan. I think it's more fun, and the fact that it's much lighter also makes it a lot more fun. I look forward to seeing you on the next YouTube video.